Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare nominations are closed. Is there a motion on the floor? The chair recognizes Michelle Mechanic of Westport.
I move we make a vote by acclamation for one unanimous ballot for the 4th Congressional District for our nominee, Jim Himes, an independent, compassionate, and effective leader for Fairfield County.
Is there a second? I'll take that as a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? In my capacity as chair of this nominating convention, I declare that Jim Himes of Greenwich is the official nominee of the Democratic Party for the 4th Congressional District.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Chris, for that wonderful nomination. Thank you, David and Eloisa and Gail and Senator Pat Billy Miller. I've been to Union Baptist Church more times than I can count, and I have seen Senator Miller sing. I have seen her testify. I have never seen her be nervous before. I am so proud to stand with you, all of you, tonight. And by the way, before I go on, Father Mazurek, thank you for being here. I speak for everyone in this room. The people of Connecticut, the people of the United States, and the people of the decent world are going to make sure that Ukraine succeeds as a model of democracy and decency in the face of fascism and appalling evil. We will be there for you, sir. I am so proud to be with all of you tonight. I'm so thrilled to stand with this incredible army of rowdy, fired up, dedicated activists. It's a little overwhelming. Usually when somebody or a group of people talk about you and say nice things for half an hour, you're either retiring or at a funeral, and I'm not ready for either one of those two things. So thank you. Thank you for all you've done, and thank you for all I know that you're going to do. You know, just about every day, someone asks me, how do you stay sane in the House of Representatives? And usually what they mean, they're asking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jewish space lasers, they're asking about Lauren Boebert calling her colleagues terrorists, or they're asking about Madison Cawthorn doing whatever it is that Madison Cawthorn does on video. More seriously, they remember January 6th. A day when a Republican president provoked a violent attack on our Capitol and our Constitution. Or they remember Mitch McConnell breaking every rule and tradition to deny America's first black president his right to appoint a Supreme Court justice. When I get asked that question, I usually say something a little funny about just the right amount of coffee and cocktails and at the right time. But there's a very serious answer to that question, and I need you to leave here tonight knowing what it is, because we are not done yet. I remember, and we all need to remember, the incredible progress that we Democrats have made for the American people. Don't ever forget what we have accomplished together. A decade ago, we passed healthcare reform that prohibited insurance companies from turning away Americans because they had pre-existing conditions. That's diabetes or surviving breast cancer, as my teammate and wife, Mary Himes, is doing right now. This is not policy anymore, it's personal. And it's personal for each and every one of you. The Affordable Care Act provided health insurance to 20 million of our fellow Americans, and needless to say, Republicans opposed us every step of the way. A decade ago, we pulled the economy out of a ditch and made rules to make sure that Wall Street would never again destroy the economy and throw millions of Americans out of their jobs. Needless to say, Republicans opposed us every step of the way. After Donald Trump bungled the COVID response with ideas about drinking disinfectant and attacks on scientists and doctors, we got America vaccinated and on the road to recovery. But not before his incompetence and self-obsession cost the lives of thousands of Americans who didn't need to die. And there's not a person in this room who doesn't know and remember somebody who we have lost in these last 2 years. During the Trump administration, Infrastructure Week became a running joke. Is this Infrastructure Week? Is next week Infrastructure Week? Of course, the answer always was no, it is not. Until President Biden and the Democrats passed the biggest investment this country has ever made in our bridges, our trains, our airports, in broadband, and yes, in combating the threat of climate change. I could go on. We cut child poverty in half in communities like Bridgeport and Norwalk by expanding the child tax credit. We provided money so that our towns and our cities could pay the nurses, the teachers, the policemen, and the firefighters who risk their lives every single day for 2 years. And we restored our country's reputation and greatness and respect abroad just in time to unite the West against Vladimir Putin's unprovoked and brutal attack on Ukraine. Do not ever forget what we accomplished together. And I really do mean together. Ned and Dick and Chris and I and the mayors and the county, we may be the ones who get interviewed. We may be the ones who get mentioned in the newspaper, but each and every one of us know that without your hard work, without your support, without the phone calls and the door knocks and the activism, none of that happens. By the way, what did the Republicans do when Donald Trump was in the White House and they controlled the House and the Senate? They did two big things. They passed a tax bill that gave massive tax cuts to corporations and to the very richest Americans. 83% of the money in their tax cut went to the top 1% of people in this country, people who didn't need that tax cut. And they raised taxes on the middle class and exploded the national debt. And as we all saw what happened last week, they put 3 justices on the Supreme Court who are now about to take away a freedom that women have enjoyed for half a century, the freedom to control their own bodies. That's what they did. You know, I had hoped that when we evicted Donald Trump from the Oval Office and set Mitch McConnell into the minority where he belongs, I'd hoped that we might be able to catch our breath and maybe rest a bit from the whole bigoted, low-road enterprise of attacking women, vilifying immigrants, trashing our Constitution, pandering to Proud Boys, the whole MAGA hate fest. But that was not to be. So we have work to do. Our planet is at risk. We see it every day in the hurricanes and the wildfires, the droughts, the crop failures all over the world. Young people know that we have not done enough to stop the climate change that will wreck their future. Young people know that drill, baby, drill is not the answer. Our freedoms are at risk. The Supreme Court is about to take away a woman's most basic freedom to decide for herself about when and whether to become a mother. And don't think for 1 minute that it stops there. Mitch McConnell is talking about a nationwide abortion ban. Senator Marsha Blackburn, with whom I served mercifully briefly in the House, talks about restricting access to birth control. This Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act. So what's going on here? Make no mistake, when conservatives tell you that they want to make America great again, the again part gives the game away. When they say again, instead of just saying make America great, something that we are all committed to, they give away the game. Because they're talking about a 1950s America when women were in the kitchen, gay Americans were in the closet, and communities of color knew their place. We know, every person in this room and Democrats know that we make America great by moving forward, not backwards. Those of us in this room and our fellow Democrats, we believe in an America where every child has the same opportunity to succeed. That hope is at risk. Walk just 3 miles east of here, and you'll get to Rudner Court. Drive 10 miles east of here, and you will get to P.T. Barnum. These are public housing developments full of families who want what every family wants for their children, a reasonable shot, a decent foundation in which to achieve the American dream. But today, do you think kids in Rudner Court and P.T. Barnum are getting the same opportunity as children born 4 miles to our north in New Canaan? It's our job to make sure that the children of Rudner Court, just behind me, and the children of P.T. Barnum get the same access to education and support as any other child in America. Finally, and many of you have heard me talk about what happened on January 6th when I was one of the very last members of the House out of the chamber, conducted out of the chamber by officers with their weapons drawn, past people who were there to hang the vice president and to stop for the first time in our history the peaceful transfer of power in our democracy. Our democracy is still very, very much at risk. To this day, a majority of Republicans believe that Donald Trump won the presidential election of 2020. When a formerly great political party gets into the business of denying reality, even when 60 courts and all the facts show you what that reality is, when they embrace conspiracy theories and attack the very legitimacy of our democratic system, our country is very much at risk. And Donald Trump, the ringleader of the whole dark, authoritarian, Proud Boy, QAnon, January 6th circus, he's coming back. The only question is, what are we going to do about it? So we know the answer. We're going to do what we've always done. We're going to organize. We're going to activate. We're going to motivate. We're going to march, and we're going to run. We're going to vote, and we are going to succeed. Our children are worth it, our country is worth it, our democracy is worth it. And while the path is hard and sometimes we take a step or two backwards, this country is great because we always move forward. So on behalf of the young people we are fighting for, whose futures are at risk, on behalf of the children of Rudner Court and P.T. Barnum, on behalf of those women and men who are seeing the hard-won rights yanked away, on behalf of the future of our democracy and the city of Stamford and the city of Bridgeport and the city of Norwalk and the other 14 towns I have the privilege to represent, I humbly and gratefully accept your nomination.